Hello everyone, my name is Norvia and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a really exciting one because I'm finally going to be setting up my 2026 bullet journal. The journal I decided to go with this year is from Tifosi and is the A5 Gold Vintage Notebook in black. First off, it has this really pretty cover and side design all embossed with gold. I've used other Tifosi notebooks for both my 2025 bullet journals, and they've both held up really well, so I'm very confident that this new one will be able to hold anything that I throw at it. The first thing I always like to do in a new journal is write my name on the nameplate page. However, you'll see I do make a mistake lettering my own name since I was too focused on trying to get the bouncy calligraphy right. I don't notice this right now, but I will later and we'll come back to this page to fix it. Flipping the page over, this is going to be my 2026 cover page. As for the actual theme of this setup, I recently got a bunch of orange material papers from Journalsay. I've never had a primarily orange theme, so I wanted to challenge myself with something I've never done before. The main elements are going to consist of a few of these scrapbook papers, along with the two different types of flower stickers. You'll also notice that a few of these scrapbook papers have some light blue shades in them. I was able to find a very similar shade in my plain washi tape collection, so I'll add that to the theme so that it breaks up the page a little bit and adds some contrast. To start off the cover page, I ripped one of the scrapbook papers in half diagonally and used one half in the bottom left corner and the other in the top right corner. Next, I'll place two different washi tapes along the top left edge and the bottom right edge. One of these is the blue washi tape I mentioned earlier, and the other is this orange and gold washi tape. I'll also add a few different stickers layered over the washi tape to create a little bit of dimension. Next, I'll go in with an orangey gold metallic paint pen to letter my 2026 title. I'll do this title in the same bouncy calligraphy as I did for my nameplate page. I always like to include a cover page whenever I set up a new journal, since this is a way for me to dedicate the journal for its intended purpose. It'll also help me later on when I'm flipping through my old journals, since I'll have a big cover page to tell me exactly what that journal was used for. I also really like having bright and cheerful themes for my beginning of the year setup, since I feel like this is a good way to continue those vibes into the new year. Finally, the page still looks a little bit empty, so I'm going to go in with a few colors of my Crayola Super Tips to do little doodles all around the page in the empty spaces. I'll draw elements such as stars, sparkles, circles, and dots. You may also notice that half of this cover page is on a blank sheet of paper and the other half is on the first dot gridded page. I never used to know what to do with this first page, but I found having it be a cover page is a really good use for this. My cover page doesn't require any functional planning space, so I'm able to play around with the layout of the elements, and I found that not having the dots on one side is not too big of a problem for me. That's all for the cover page, so now I'll move on to my future log. I always used to have a year at a glance page, but I found that that wasn't enough space to actually plan anything for me. I found that instead, I really like having a future log because it lets me have a lot more dedicated space for each month to plan things in advance. This is where I'll write down things that need to be planned in advance, such as doctor's or dentist appointments, as well as write down any birthdays or events that I have coming up. To start things off, I'll use a different gold paint pen to divide each page into thirds vertically. This will give me space to plan for 3 months on each page, giving me a total of 6 months between the two pages. I will do the same thing on the next page to account for the last 6 months of the year. At the bottom of the page, I'll decorate it by first laying down my orange and gold washi tape before layering my blue tape over top. Then at the top of the page, I'll first write out the letters for the days of the week before numbering each of the calendar boxes. I know that this is kind of a personal preference, but I always prefer that my calendars start on a Sunday instead of a Monday. I do this for a couple of reasons. One, I'm a Christian and I go to church on Sundays, so I like to consider that the start of my week. Also, as a student, I really prefer that my calendar start on Sunday instead of Monday because I've had problems in the past with Monday start calendars. I like to write down assignment due dates ahead of time, and with a Sunday start, I would flip to a new weekly the day before anything on Monday was due. With a Monday start calendar, I would flip to the new weekly on Monday and see that something was due that day. I've learned from my mistakes and was able to see that Sunday starts are preferable for me. However, I'd love to know your own opinions and would love it if you could leave a comment down below letting me know if you prefer a Sunday or Monday start. After numbering all of those in, I'll go in with my gold paint pen and do the titles for each of the months above the calendar. Finally, I'll place some stickers in the blank space above the calendars. This space was a little bit too thin for me to use one entire sticker, so instead I cut one sticker in half and then aligned each half to the top edge of the page. Finally, I'll letter my future log title before adding in my hand-drawn sparkles and doodles. Flipping the page, this spread will be very similar to the previous one, just with the decoration and title flipped. It will still have 6 calendar boxes along with their titles so that I'll be able to plan for the last half of the year. The washi tape decoration will this time go at the top of the page and the title and stickers will go at the bottom. You'll see I do make a mistake when lettering this title. For some reason, my hand was going to write a B instead of an F, but I do notice it. I decide just to continue writing the title, and once it dries, I'll come back later to fix it. I'm going to start numbering in this first calendar, but you don't need to see me do 6 more of them again, so I'll just complete this first one before skipping ahead to once it's done. The last thing I'll do in this page is once again write in the monthly titles above each of the calendar boxes. Moving on, the next page I'll start working on is my theme tracker. My theme tracker is another page that I've always liked to include when I set up a new bullet journal. It's a way for me to see all of the themes that I set up for a whole year all in one spot. Now, you might have noticed that I've skipped any goal setting or reflection pages in this setup. Previously, in a lot of my past bullet journals, I did have a lot of goal setting pages, but I found that I don't often flip back to the beginning of my bullet journals. A lot of times I'll set up pages and I'll have good intentions to use them, but I never get back to them and so they simply remain empty. I found that it's better for me to do something like monthly or weekly goals instead of yearly goals that I'll never return to or think back on. This year, I've also cut out a lot of other pages that I used to include but noticed that didn't get filled in. In the past, I always included a show and movie tracker at the beginning of my journal, but just like the goal setting pages, I didn't flip back often enough to remember each of the shows and movies that I watched. I still want to track these things, but again, I think it'd be much better to track them in my monthlies that I use much more often. Back to my theme tracker, the first thing I'll do is outline 12 boxes, 6 on the left page and 6 on the right. I'll leave the space inside these boxes blank, and that's what I'll use to show off my themes for each month of the year. In the middle of the page, I'll add the title for the theme tracker. Next, on the left side of the page, the titles for each of the boxes will go below the boxes, and on the right page, they'll go above. You'll see I completely skip over August and go right to September, but I'll notice this immediately and keep going on, and I'll fix this in a moment. For my last little bit of decoration in this page, I'll add my doodles and stars. To fix my mistake, first I'll layer down a piece of sticker paper and then just write the new title over top of the old one. Here's the part where I'll also flip backwards to fix my future log title. First, I tried using my white gel pen to see if that would be enough to cover the mistake. However, the paint pen was still showing underneath, so I'll just use another piece of sticker paper and do the correct title over top. Moving forwards again in my bullet journal, I'll start working on my last full spread for this new setup. On the left side of the page is going to be my 2026 bingo board. In the past 2 or 3 years, I liked using Joshi Koren's system of having blank number of things in blank year. What I mean by that is, in 2024, I had a list of 24 things I wanted to do that year. The next year, I had a list of 25 things to do in 2025. I wanted to continue that system, but eventually knew my list would be too large for me to be able to complete. Last year, my 25 things were able to easily fit into a bingo board, so I decided that's what I'm going to do moving forward. Instead of continuing to add a new item every year, I'm just going to continue using my bingo board to have 25 things I want to do each year. These 25 things aren't any major goals, they're just small, fun stuff that I think would be cool to accomplish. After I finish outlining my bingo board, I'll start writing in my prompts. This year, some of the things I want to accomplish include visiting another country, having a game night, donating blood, trying a new hobby, and going to a book-related event. To decorate this page, I use a similar technique as before, where I'll rip a piece of scrapbook paper in half so that one piece can go at the top and one piece can go at the bottom. Over top of the bottom piece of paper, I'll place a few stickers. When I flip back to the previous page to cut these stickers off, I notice that these offcuts will fit really well in this blank section at the bottom of my theme tracker. At the top of my page, I'll letter my 2026 bingo title. I'll place down a few more flower stickers and offcuts in the corners of the page. Finally, mainly focused towards the bottom and sides of the page, I'll draw out a few more doodles and stars. Moving on to the opposite page, I didn't include any blue washi tape on my bingo board page, so I want to make sure that it's included here. Next, I'll glue down a few pieces of scrapbook paper so that the washi tape is peeking out a little bit from behind it. Next, I'll add 2 more big stickers layered over top of the scrapbook paper. I'm leaving most of this page blank with just a little bit of decoration because this page is meant to be my brain dump. This space is mainly so that I have a spot to write down any important information that doesn't relate to any of my previous pages. Finally, I'll add a few more doodles before flipping back to the very beginning of my journal. At this point, I thought I was done with my new setup, but I flipped back to the nameplate page and found out my mistake when lettering my own name. To fix it, first I stuck down a piece of sticker paper and was just going to write my name over top, but didn't like how the white paper looked against the plain background. I tore off a piece of scrapbook paper that had a lighter background and matched it so it would fit the curve of the text already there. Then I'll go in with my pen and this time correctly letter my own name. Originally, I wasn't going to decorate this page, but since I already had a piece of scrapbook paper down for the background of my name, I decided to add in a few more smaller pieces of the other scrapbook papers that I had already used. Next, for one nice final touch, I'll add in a few stickers as well. With that done, we've officially reached the end of my new 2026 bullet journal setup. Thank you so much for joining me and for watching until the end of this video. I would absolutely love if you could leave me a comment down below, as well as liking this video, and if you haven't already, subscribing to my channel. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.